McDonald's closed down. This is a very stressful time in Singapore's history. Hello everyone! There's been a lot of heaviness and craziness is going on in the world right now.
We will therefore extend the circuit breaker for 4 more weeks.
CCB is here. Everything is cancelled. We can't deny that Singapore as a nation has been really affected by this. In fact, the whole world has been shaken. One of the earliest reports by Bloomberg has estimated a loss of $2.7 trillion directly linked to the coronavirus. That is 11 zeros after 27. But just a friendly PSA reminder,
It's not just about adhering to the letter of the law, the spirit of the guidelines.
indeed, it is the spirit, not the words. Do not find the grey areas. Please, please, please stay at home. We do feel a lot of emotions about it, but what is it that we can do to translate these sometimes really powerful emotions into effective actions? I have come up with four tips. Number 1, be a good neighbor. If you're really angry, you see like people hoarding, or you just see people being sometimes the first thing that we have to do is go onto Facebook and attack that person. But if you think about it, attacking the person only makes him more defensive. Maybe public shaming could contribute to rectifying his or her behavior. However, there is another way, which is number 1, be a good neighbor. It seems counterintuitive. When someone is hoarding you, be a good neighbor.
It's mine, you understand? Mine! All mine! Get back in there! Down, down, down! Go, go, go! Mine, mine, mine!
What is hoarding? If you think about it, hoarding is an emotional response to how unsafe we feel. In other words, kiasi, kiasu. When people hoard, they have a mindset of, if I don't take care of myself, no one is gonna take care of me! Which stems from a place of being uncared for. At least they feel uncared for. So one of the best ways to actually combat hoarding, be a good neighbor. Even just chatting with your neighbor when you go to the grocers or the market. You can even ask your neighbor if they need anything. This decreases the number of people queuing, prevents clustering. You are also communicating to your neighbor, hey, I've got you, I've got your back, I support you. Sometimes it's little gestures like these that really help foster a sense of community and well-being. And in general, just makes people feel good to know they are not alone, someone is looking out for them. Also be as simple as just checking in on your neighbors to see if they need any help and support. In fact, those of us, if you are trying to get over your social anxiety, this is great practice as well. Number 2. Be part of a support system, be a good friend. This is a good time to reply all your messages. I can't be the only one with 30 new messages. I'm sorry friends, if you call me, I will really pick up. Some of your friends might have been really quiet along the weeks. Sometimes it's because you're struggling and you don't know what to say. Check in on your friends, let them feel cared for. Likewise, being part of a support system also means that when you need support, you ask for it as well. For those of us who do not actually need our Solidarity Fund, consider channeling parts of your Solidarity Fund to a cause or to people and communities you might really help. I mean, people are about the Zuckerbergs for donating only a small fraction of their wealth. But frankly, every little bit helps. $25 million is still money. It's a lot of money. They actually aren't obliged to donate, save for the PR stints. But number 3, be good to yourself this season. Start doing things that are nurturing, that are fun. It can be fun. Projects that you have held up for so long because you were simply too busy, do them right now. Even for me, my room. For the longest time, my room was left half done. It was chipping away at me every time I woke up, and I hadn't noticed it, but it actually drove me nuts. I just became so used to this general buzzing sense of disappointment and unease. As on a subconscious level, I felt, if I can't even complete a small project like this, what about the bigger things in my life that I want? So those projects that you have held up for so long, this is the best chance to do it. Don't procrastinate anymore. Just take one small step, pasito pasito, just like a song. It can be anything. Books, art, music, a hobby that you really want, 15 minutes of something that you've always wanted to do. At the end of 15 days, half of the CCB. If it's something that you really enjoy and it really adds joy to you, don't put it off anymore, do it. It can be Marie Kondoing your room, which I have also done. Start nurturing yourself. Self-care is not just about the facial masks that you do. How many of us actually practice the mental hygiene for ourselves? So little projects like that, start doing them, start practicing mental hygiene. Number 4, meditate. Meditation is not just some fluffy thing where you sit cross-legged, close your eyes and go, It can take that form, but different people meditate differently. For me, meditation is just a way to be with myself, to come back to myself and really be fully aware of me as a person. Without the buffer of any activity, without distracting myself with another storyline on Netflix.
Good morning, Clancy.
Good morning, computer.
Which universe will you choose today?
This one, this world.
What? It is the act of being with myself. Many of us escape into Netflix, fitness, food, drink in order to distract ourselves from this general unease that I was describing in point 3. Don't get me wrong, these activities are great. They bring joy to your life. That's why you're doing it, right? I'm just saying, if you remove all of these stimuli and you sit still with yourself for 60 seconds, no words, nada. How many of us starts being really uneasy? This unease can manifest itself as a small scratch or even a sense of like, I can't sit still, I want to go somewhere. You may even feel a sense of deep revulsion. Now is a great time to look at that buzz, I would even say that mental fog, and see what exactly it is that is clouding your psyche. What is it saying to you? I assure you that when you're able to identify what you're feeling, what the unease is about, what is causing it, you will come so much stronger as a person. When we write it down, you can catch the fallacies that we are exhibiting. Sometimes when we talk to our friends, we get lost telling a story to ourselves. Identify what's causing it, acknowledge it, and then choose whether to keep this in your life or not. Of course, everyone has really different emotional states. If you have been clinically diagnosed with certain conditions, or if you don't feel safe enough to actually explore these states. Point number 2, ask for help from your support system. Talk to your doctors. You can call this hotline as well. Of course, not everyone can afford to stay at home. For those of us who are lucky enough to be able to do so, I hope this refreshes your perspectives on what is possible. I'm not discounting the trying time that this is for everyone. I'm saying the best way forward is to deal with this with awareness, love, gentleness, and appreciation of what we do have. Okay, that's all I have for you in the first episode. My name is Kayan, just like the pepper, and I will be sharing more with you about the different ways that I'm growing. Hopefully not just horizontally. I hope that you find these sharings useful as well. Until next time, hopefully face to face when all of the craziness ends, but if not, in another video.